Beautiful day out. Maybe going out sometime today, I don't know. But let's go get an update on the greenhouse gases around planet Earth. Are they going up, down? I mean, we've seen a 16% decline in driving and in manufacturing. 16% doesn't sound like much, does it, in the big picture? Let's go find out what the numbers say. Greenhouse gas emissions 2020. CO2, the CO2 level for May 1, 2019, that was last year, was 414.88 parts per million. CO2 level May 1, 2020, this year, 418.03 parts per million. That's another record high right there. How about methane, CH4? December 2018 saw 1866.0 parts per billion. That was the year before last. 2019 saw 1874.7 parts per billion. That was last year. Methane levels in the atmosphere are growing fast. It's one of the fastest growing rates seen in the last 20 years. Methane is roughly 80 times more powerful than CO2. Methane lasts decades, 12-24 years. Then it turns into water and CO2. 1875 parts per billion is the highest level of methane ever seen since 1983, when measurements started to be taken. However, this figure may change as preliminary estimates have trended higher. Now, the way that methane levels are checked is they have to go and grab samples of air all over the globe and then analyze it over at NOAA, where they decide what the level is by the mathematical equations. Methane's a little different. It doesn't act like a fog. It's more like clouds. It's individual places in different amounts. So they have to take all those measurements, bring them up to an average, and take the measurement that way. That's why methane readings can change over the years from what they were when they started, because it's an ongoing measurement thing. It's not a take one measurement and that's it, the way CO2 is. CO2 is more like a fog everywhere. So how do we deal with methane and CO2? Well, you can fight both of them at the same place, where you fill up your car with gasoline. That pretty much does it. If you reduce your amount of gasoline that you pump into your vehicle each month, it will improve the CO2 count and the methane count in the atmosphere. Because methane, a lot of it is now coming from the fracking fields in the US and other countries. They're terrible on leaking raw methane into the air. Another source of methane, of course, is meat and dairy products. Those you can reduce or get rid of altogether. You'll give yourself a lot healthier body because you have to change into a vegetarian. But you also clean up the air, so you get two things out of one action. You know, it's not that difficult. Just reduce your gasoline intake. The more that reduces, the less money comes out of your pocket, the better the air is. But as we see, I think this was going to be, or is the year that was going to make or break the environment. The numbers are going up quite quickly, even though we're down on driving and manufacturing and other greenhouse gases, including meat production here in the US is now going down quite a bit. That's good to see. Now, we don't want to see that go back up. So when the lockdowns end, doesn't mean you go right back to your old habits. It means that we improve on things and try and save our planet. But this year and next year is going to be the real breaker. But the worst that could ever happen is we have an El Nino. That brings up temperatures around the world, and we just cannot go above that. What it is already this summer here in the northern hemisphere of the planet is going to be interesting. It's already been so warm. Today we're expecting 80s. That's a little high for this time of the year. I appreciate all the ups, the downs, the new subscribers, and until next time.